My name is Ariane Cerna. This is Module 6 of my lab, and this is the second lab, so I'm going to go ahead and explain the functions of the digestive system organs. So I didn't tag the oral cavity, which houses the teeth and the tongue, but it's right in here, and it's where ingestion takes place or consumption of food, which aids in masticating, so it chews up and aids in swallowing, which then turns the food we eat into bolus. So then the food goes ahead and travels from the pharynx. So the pharynx's main function is propulsion in the form of swallowing, which causes the bolus to pass through the pharynx and into the esophagus. So again, here is the pharynx, so the bolus then travels down into the esophagus, which again is a little hard to see, but we'll go ahead, pull this up. So the esophagus is right here. What happens in the esophagus secretes mucus to lubricate the bolus as it passes through to the stomach. The esophagus is made of muscle that contracts to move food to the stomach. There is a upper esophageal sphincter and a lower esophageal sphincter. So when a person swallows, these sphincters relax so the food can pass through it into the stomach. When they're not in use, they contract so food and stomach acid do not flow back up into the esophagus. So that's right in here, which goes directly into the stomach, which I'll go ahead and turn this. You can see here. So here's the stomach right in here. So the stomach performs churning, which pummels the food into a liquid called chyme. It does this by three main functions, which is secretion, propulsion, and digestion. The stomach releases pepsin, which catalyzes the beginning of the chemical digestion process. So again, here is the stomach. The small intestine, which is right here. So the chyme is then released into the small intestine, where food is still being broken down using enzymes released by the pancreas and bile from the liver, where absorption of nutrients take place. It is made up of three segments, so the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. The duodenum is largely responsible for continuing the breakdown process within the jejunum, and the ileum's main responsible for absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream. So next we can look at the large intestine, which is this big guy that kind of just goes around the small intestine. So that's the large intestine. The large intestine actually receives material from the small intestines that were not digested or absorbed. It functions in absorbing of water and electrolytes, which is critical for maintaining fluid and acid-base homeostasis. The large intestine also houses numerous bacteria that performs important functions like synthesizing vitamins. And then the large intestine meets the rectum where defecation is performed. The pancreas, which is not that guy, but this guy, is small. The pancreas secretes digestive enzymes into the duodenum. The first segment of the small intestine. These enzymes break down protein, fats, and carbohydrates. The pancreas also makes insulin, which secretes directly into the bloodstream, so it's pretty important. The liver, which is this big guy, pretty big, The liver has multiple functions, but its main function within the digestive system is to process the nutrients absorbed from the small intestine. And then last I have the gallbladder, which is highlighted, and it's right here. It's the small guy that kind of is tucked under the liver. So the gallbladder stores and concentrates bile and then releases it into the duodenum to help absorb and digest fats. So that is my video for week 6.